Okay, so introduction of cybercrime. Legal, follow laws and regulations. Second, secure, protect systems and information. Third, ethical, respect people's rights and privacy. Fourth, accountable, take responsibility for decisions and actions. So we move to the next slide. Okay, so what is cybercrime? Cybercrime refers to illegal activities that involve computers, digital device, computer networks, or the internet as a target, tool, or place of criminal activity. Cybercrime can be committed against individuals, organizations, governments, and society. How does cybercrime happen? Cybercriminals may use computers and laptops, smartphones and tablets, internet and social media, websites and online platforms, email and messaging applications, malware, malicious software stolen, password and credentials, fake websites and online identities. So we can conclusion is cybercrime is any illegal activity done using technology or the internet, such as hacking, phishing, and stealing personal information. Cybercrime also illegal activities carried out using computers, digital device, or the internet. It can target individuals, organizations, and government. Okay, so we move at types of cybercrime. Common types of cybercrime, example, hacking, accessing a system without permission, phishing, fake emails or websites designed to steal information, malware, malicious software used to damage or access systems, ransomware, encrypting data and demanding payment, identify theft, stealing someone's personal identity, cyber fraud, using the internet to commit fraud, data theft, stealing confidential or personal information, cyberstalking, harassing or monitoring someone online. So we can talk in conclusion, cybercrime comes in many forms such as hacking, phishing, malware, ransomware, and identity theft. These crimes can cause serious damage, so we need to be careful and protect our personal information when using the internet.
Okay, for this slide, I will explain about Malaysian cyber law. In Malaysia, there are several laws that are used to deal with cybercrime and activity related to technology. First is the Computer Crime Act 1997. This law governs offences such as unauthorized access and unauthorized modification of computer contents and misuse of computer use system. Next is the Communication and Multimedia Act 1998. This law regulates communication and multimedia activities and include offences involving the misuse of network facilities. Then beside that, the penal code can also apply to criminal offence committed using digital technology. Lastly, we have the Personal Data Protection Act 2010, which regulates the processing of personal data, especially in commercial transactions. In conclusion, these laws are important to make sure that technology and the internet are used safely and responsibly in Malaysia. What is PDPA? Now, I will explain what is PDPA. PDPA stands for the Personal Data Protection Act 2010. It is Malaysian main law that regulates how personal data is collected, processed, stored and used in commercial transactions. Personal data refer to information that can identify a person. For example, personal data include a full name, identification number, address, phone number, email address, financial information, and employment information. So, the main purpose of PDPA is to make sure that our personal information is handled properly and protected from misuse. In simple words, PDPA help protect our personal data when we provide it to business or organization. That's all for those for this part. Thank you. Next, I will explain the seven principles of PDPA. First, it is general principle. Personal data must be processed lawfully. Second is the notice and choice principle. Individuals should be informed about how their personal data is being processed. Third is the disclaimer of principle. Personal data should not be disclosed for the purpose other than the permitted purpose. Fourth is the security principle. Organization must take reasonable security measure to protect personal data. Fifth is the retention principle. Personal data should not keep longer than necessary. Number six is the data integrity principle. Personal data should be accurate and kept up to date. Lastly, the principal individual generally have the right to access the correct their personal data. So, the seven principles help ensure that personal data is handled properly and securely. So that's all for the seven PDPA principle. Thank you. So, why is data protection is important? Next, I will explain about why data protection is important, which is the data protection is important because personal information can be exposed if there is a data breach. If personal data is leaked, it can cause several consequences, such as identity theft, financial loss, privacy violation, reputation damage, loss of customer trust, and legal consequence. For example, if a company database containing customer names, phone number, and email addresses is hacked and leaked online, the information could be misused for other people. Therefore, protecting personal data is important to keep people information safe and to maintain customer trust. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shamiman. Now I will talk about what is compliance. Compliance basically means following the applicable laws, regulations, standard, policies, and requirements that apply to an organization. There are several requirements that organization may need to comply with. These include legal requirements, cybersecurity requirement, company policies, industry regulation, contractual requirement, international requirement. Following this requirement is important because it provides several benefit to an organization. First, it reduces legal risk. Second, it protects sensitive data, especially information that should not be accessed by unauthorized people. Third, improve cybersecurity to build customer trust and protect the organization reputation. So, in simple terms, compliance ensure that an organization operate properly, securely, and according to the required rules and standards. Next, I would like to talk about cybersecurity investigation. A cybersecurity investigation is conducted to understand what happened during a cybersecurity incident. There are several important questions that need to be answered, such as what happened, how it happened, when it happened, who or what was affected, and what information was compromised. The investigation process consists of six main types. First is identity process, where we identify the incident and the system involved. Second is preserve evidence, which means making sure the evidence is protected and not altered. Third is collect evidence, where investigators gather relevant data such as system log, files, and network information. Fourth is analyze, where the collected evidence is examined to understand the cause and impact of the incident. Fifth is document and report, where all the findings are recorded and reported. Finally, we have remediate, which means taking action to fix the problem and prevent a similar incident from happening again. So, cybersecurity investigation help an organization understand an incident, determine its impact, and take the necessary step to improve security. So now we move to digital evidence. Digital evidence is any information stored or generated digitally that can be used during a cybersecurity investigation. Some example of digital evidence are computer files, email, mobile device, cloud record, CCTV footage, login record, and system log. We also have something called the chain of custody. It is the process of properly handling evidence from the moment it is collected until it is analyzed. The process is collected, recorded, stored, transferred, and analyzed. Chain of custody is important because it ensures that the evidence has not been altered, damaged, or lost, can, and that the evidence can still be trusted. For example, if investigators collect a suspicious file from a computer, they need to make sure the file is properly stored and documented so that it remains reliable as evidence. So digital evidence is important because it helps investigators understand what happened during a cybersecurity incident and provide reliable information for the investigation. Next, I will explain about information ethics. Information ethics refer to the principle that helps distinguish between what is right and wrong when collecting, assessing, using, storing, and sharing information. There are five important principles in information ethics. First is privacy, which means we should respect a personal information and avoid using it without permission. Second is confidentially. We must make sure that confidential information is protected and not disclosed to unauthorized people. Third is accuracy. which means the information we use should be correct, reliable, and up to date. Fourth is fairness. Information should be used fairly and responsibility without causing harm or discrimination. Last is accountability, where the individual must take responsibility for their decision and action involving information. So by following these five principles, we can ensure the information is handled in an ethical, responsible, and trustworthy way.
Good morning, lecturer. Today, I would like to explain about legal versus ethical. Okay, first, being legal does not always mean being ethical. Legal means something is based on laws and follows the minimum legal requirement. It is mainly about the question it is allowed. Meanwhile, ethical is based on moral principles and consider whether something is right or wrong. It asks, is it right? For example, a company may legally collect certain customer information. However, using the information in a way that customer will not reasonable expect may still raise ethical concerns. Therefore, something can be legal but not necessarily ethical. So the answer to the discussion question, if something is legal, does it always mean it is ethical? The answer is no. Okay, next, I would like to present a case study about a customer data breach. In this scenario, a company accidentally sent a file containing the personal information of 50,000 customers to the wrong email address. Okay, first, there may be a legal issue because the company has a responsibility to protect customers' personal information and privacy. Second, the company should act immediately by reporting the incident, securing the data, and trying to prevent further access to the information. Third, the affected customer should be informed, especially if their personal information may be at risk. The company also has an ethical responsibility to be honest, transparent, and responsible toward its customers. Finally, to prevent the same incident from happening again, the company should improve its data security, email procedures, and staff training and privacy policies. In conclusion, in this case involve law, privacy, security, ethics, and compliance. It shows that companies must not only follow the law but also act responsibility to protect their customers. For this section, I will explain some best practice that organizations can follow to protect their information. First, organizations should implement strong access controls to make sure that only authorized users can access important information. Second, they should try encrypt sensitive information so that the data remains protected, especially if it is accessed or transferred by unauthorized individuals. Organizations should also provide cybersecurity awareness training to their employees. This is important because employers need to understand common cyber threats and how to avoid them. Next, organizations should conduct regular security assessments to identify weaknesses in their system and improve their security measures. They should also maintain an incident response plan so they know what to do if a cybersecurity incident or data breach occurs. Another important practice is to minimize unnecessary data collection and remove data when it is no longer required. This can reduce the risk of sensitive information being exposed. Organizations should also monitor their system for suspicious activities to detect potential security risks as early as possible. Finally, they should maintain proper documentation and promote an ethical cybersecurity culture among employees. Overall, this practice can help organizations protect their information, reduce cybersecurity risks, and build a safer digital environment. Okay, now I will explain the key takeaways from our presentation. First, we need to understand cybercrime. You should know which activities are illegal and understand the consequence of committing cybercrime. Next, we have PDPA, which focus on protecting personal data. Organizations need to make sure that personal information is collected and processed responsibly. Another important point is compliance. Organizations must follow the applicable laws, regulations, and requirements to ensure that their cybersecurity practices are appropriate. We also have investigations. When a cybercrime happens, digital evidence needs to be collected, preserved, and analyzed properly. This can help investigators understand what happened and identify the person responsible. Lastly, information ethics is also very important. We should use information responsible and always respect people's privacy. So the main message from our presentation is that cybersecurity is not only about protecting system, it is also about protecting people, privacy, information and trust. In conclusion, everyone has a role to play in creating a safer and more responsible digital environment. Thank you.